Hello, I'm Tracy. I'm the Somerset Sewist, and today I'm going to be making one of these, I would say, Victorian style sewing boxes. This one I made a few years ago, and it's kind of been battered around and has seen better days. So I decided I'd like to make myself a new one, and I think I'd like to also show you how. I've got a cardboard box that my son has donated. I think it's like a PlayStation, I don't know, PlayStation Oculus. I have no idea what that is. Ask me about sewing, I could answer you. Ask me about PlayStations, I have no clue, and that's the way I like it. But this box is quite nice because it's quite strong cardboard, but it's also quite thin. It's corrugated, so I can use it in a way that makes it even stronger. So what I'm going to do is cut 2 layers of everything I need to cut, but I'll make it so the corrugation goes north to south and east to west, shall we say, in direction in the 2 layers, which will make it actually quite strong for not being too thick. I've got this fabric that I think I'd like to use, and this fabric that I'm going to use for the lining. So again, stuff that I've had hanging around in my sewing room for a very long time. The only thing I haven't got that I could do with is a slightly bigger hexagon. Now I've got this one, which you can't even see. No, you can't even see it through that really. No, anyway, doesn't matter. It's a tiny, tiny hexagon. That's the actual measurement. Let's see. Oh, hello. Tape measure. It's not even quite a 2-inch. I would say 1 3/4 inch hexagon, because the way you measure hexagons is by one of the straight sides. 1 3/4 inch hexagon. I can't even find the hexagon I was using the other day to make my trinket pot, but never mind, it doesn't matter. Even if I use that one, it wouldn't be big enough. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to show you a method of getting a template for a slightly bigger hexagon that is quite easy. So that's the first thing we need to do. We need to do two hexagon templates onto paper, and then we need to transfer them onto card. So here we go. So first things first, I'm going to draw around the hexagon that I've got. Without drawing around my finger, that would be ideal. And then I'm going to cross all of the corners with a straight line. And then I'm going to I don't know if that's going to be too big. I'm going to pick how much bigger I want it. So I'm going to choose that line and mark each line. And then I'm going to join up properly, join up all of the marks that I've made. And then, because I need a slightly bigger hexagon to do the lid, and the inner hexagon has ended up being 3 inches and the outer hexagon has ended up being just short of, well, 3 3/4 inches. So I'm happy with that. I need to cut this out. But first of all, I think what I'll do is do a quick, what do we say, 3 inches. Perfect. So I will start on my little rectangles that I need to do from the side. I need to do 6 rectangles. At any point, 6 rectangles to do the sides of it. I'm not sure how long I want them to be, but I'll work that out in a minute. I can always cut it down, can't I? There we are. Right. I've also got to make the, what do I say that was? 3 and just over 3.5. It's not my tape measure, that's easier. And then this will be the sides of the lid. There we go. Right, I'm ready to cut all that out, which you don't need to see me do. I'm sure you can cut bits of paper out. Right, that's all cut out. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So you've got the corrugation going that way on that one and going that way on that one. So I'm going to turn them over as they are, she says, getting herself in a muddle as ever. Right, so I kept them the right way. Okay. Let's go north to south. There we go. And then I'm going to glue them together. And they will pretty much be very strong when I've finished. How does a fly... Oh, the window's open. I've used a little bit much glue, but that's okay because I'll just put that on the next thing. And then these little clips are ever so useful, even for keeping glued stuff together. They work really well. So I'll finish setting everything up, making sure it's all glued together. And then I think I'll be back in the sewing room tomorrow to do the next stage. Now, they're all nicely glued together, as you can see. Quite strong, like I say, with this side going up and down and this side going from side to side. I mean, you could bend it if you really wanted to, but good enough for my purposes. Now I've got some wadding, not too thick, and I've got my fabric, and I need to cut around every shape with enough to go over the edge and be glued to the edge. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's do the 2 hexes first. Yes, I want it like that. There we go, 1 hexie done. Right, I'm going to carry on doing this and come back when I've finished cutting the wadding and the fabric. Right, they're all cut out. I've done the wadding slightly bigger. Sorry, yeah, the wadding slightly smaller than the fabric. I don't know if that's the right way, but it's my way. And so that's the way it's going to get done today. It's fine. Now, I've seen other people do these, and they put the cardboard here in the position it's going to be, and they cut the fabric for all of it. They cut it out like a, what is it? What's the animal with 6 legs? A squid shape, you know, 6 tentacles coming off it. But I don't want to do it like that because I feel that feels a bit wasteful. You're wasting kind of this corner of fabric. I've cut this out with minimal fabric really, and definitely not very much wastage, so I'm happy with my way of doing it. Now I've got E6000, which apparently, well, it glues anything. I use this for my other one, and it's great stuff. It does glue, and it's what was it, £8-9 something or other from Amazon, which is fabulous. It's a good, and it sticks. It actually works, and that's kind of what we need. We do not need a glue that isn't going to stick. I mean, the glue that I used yesterday, you know. That sticks what it needs to stick, which is paper and card, very well. It's beginning to work. Might need to put a bit more there. That's fine. Right, it's the wadding is stuck now. You have to just kind of hold it for a couple of minutes and then it sticks. So now I'm going to get the fabric to stick. You don't have to double fold it because you hide it. You're going to hide this bit ultimately. Oh, that's unstuck. Never mind. I will re-stick it. It's not a problem. I've done that with the help of a candle and a couple of other little bits, more or less holding it down. I'm going to get that done on everything, but that top looks quite nice, doesn't it? So I'm going to finish that with everything else, and then we'll be on to the next stage. So the glue is dry on these, and now I've got an Amazon envelope, and I've cut slightly smaller of the shapes, and then I'm going to cover them with the lining fabric, and on the outer, on the sides of the hexagon, I'm going to do things like make little pockets or put little pieces of elastic before I glue that in, and then that'll be glued to these, and then we'll be ready for the next stage. And I'm also going to cover this with some of the black fabric, and I'm going to make a little pin cushion to stick in the middle of the base. This is a, what do they call it? You know, the little beads that you put in laundry to make them smell nice. It's the cap from one of those. So quite a lot of recycling being done in this project. Right. So I'm here with, I've got the sides, I've got two of the sides actually done. Completely done. I've sewn a little pocket. I've put one tiny layer of wadding and then wrapped it around with a layer of the fabric I'm using for the lining. I'm going to add some elastic to a couple of pockets, a couple with just a bit of elastic to put things in, and then stick them to the sides. And I'm going to weigh them down with heavy books overnight, and they'll dry in position. Right, everything is literally constructed and stuck together nicely. Feels really firm. Got a little pocket there, lovely. Got some elastic there. So now the next job is to sew it all together. So I've got this one. I've done one side so far. Basically doing a bit of a ladder stitch. So I'm going to get another side and let's have one with a pocket. It's no good. I'm pretending I can see without my glasses. It's rather silly. Don't you think? have to tighten that all up. Right, so I'm going to carry on doing that and then come back towards the end. Right, I've sewn the actual base together. I'm thinking it looks quite good. There you go. Now I'm going to do the lid with the, I've only got 5 of these. I've only made 5 because I'm going to sew the back bit onto one of these, and then it will just come down as the lid. So yeah, that'll be the very last stitches that I do. Will be sewing the 2 bits together. So next stage is to sew these, and not only have I got to sew them onto this, but I've got to sew them together too to make it rigid and make it secure that when the lid is down. So that's the next part. Ta-da! It's finished. A little tab so I can hang it on a hook against the wall if I want to, or just carry it like that. I changed my mind about doing the pincushion because I've got a pincushion that goes very nicely, that fits in very nicely, as you'll see in a second. I did put one of the sides in upside down, so stupidly the pocket is upside down, but that's okay. I can slot a tape measure in there, it'll be fine. So here we are. Isn't that lovely? And obviously my pincushion goes quite nicely with it, so I'm quite happy with that. Will you be making one? I hope so. It's not very difficult. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.